Lucy Rickson, and I'm looking forward to 2 days packed full of ideas, information and having a chat to interesting people.
Hello, I'm Sophie Partridge and I'm at the Young Leaders Conference 2015. Got 2 days worth of conference. I'm looking forward to hearing about new ways of thinking and hearing all the speakers and their thoughts and ideas, and I'm very much looking forward to it.
Hi, I'm Katie Bond from Notting Hill, so I'm Director of Notting Hill Home Ownership, and for me there's kind of 3 key things about leadership. Firstly, you don't have to kind of naturally be a good leader, you can definitely work on it, and I think anyone can be a good leader if you're willing to kind of put that effort in. Secondly, I would encourage you to really be a champion of and embrace change, because they're the kind of people that everyone wants to have in their team, and the opportunities will kind of come your way if you do that. And lastly, I would say kind of really stretch yourself and put yourself out of your comfort zone, because it makes life and work a lot more interesting for you, but you'll also kind of learn a lot through doing it, and opportunities will come your way as well.
Okay, so we've just finished the session, Seizing the Opportunity. We had Katie Bond as a speaker. She was very informative and gave us lots of good top tips. She explained about how it was good to being a good leader is about taking risks, going for something and maybe filling in the gaps later and just moving forward, taking chances and challenging things that people might think are impossible, but you can do them if you work for it. If you manage a team, it's about understanding your team and supporting them, rather than just telling them what to do. Work alongside them and help them, and yeah, just challenge new ways of doing things.
So we've just had a really good presentation from David Willis. It was quite entertaining, and it was about influencing styles moving from operational to strategic with behaviours, and he had a great analogy that people are either cats or dogs, and it was very interesting.
I'm Lizzie Clifford. I'm Head of Housing and Planning at London Councils, which is the body that represents all of the boroughs and the City of London. I've been here today talking about the value of mentoring and mentor-mentee relationships to your career. I think this is incredibly important because this is a really critical time in housing, and so we want to have the best people in the sector, but we also want people to be able to really flourish, use their skills, explore new roles, and kind of rise up to the challenges of being in this sector at the moment. For me, mentoring's been absolutely critical in helping me kind of shape my career narrative, work out where I want to go next, work out what it is that I personally offer to a company when I'm going for an interview. So I would encourage anyone to think about mentoring, to think about identifying someone that you respect who can get alongside you, support you, offer advice, some challenge and some encouragement in your career.
So we've just had the breakout session, the mentor-mentoree. Really enjoyed it. It was completely different to what I thought, which was great because I learnt something new from it. I didn't realise that you could actually find a specific mentor for yourself and your own needs that can help you develop not only yourself but in your career if you wish to do so. So yes, it was very interesting.
One of the things that we've been doing today is hosting the Young Leaders Conference. I think this is really important that we invest in and nurture the young leaders, the people who will be leading our sector in the future. And the competition that we've run has demonstrated that we have some really fabulous talent, and I do think the future is safe in the hands of young people who are entering our industry now.
No, I'm really happy to have won, and overwhelmed, but a lot of hard work went to that, like, so it's all paid off, like, and hopefully, I don't know, like, hopefully it's a start together, like, you look at the other people who are caught in the contest as well. It shows that there's a lot of future generations of young leaders coming through, and like, I'm hoping that even though it's challenging times for the sector, we don't close the door, because we need to make sure that we're getting young people interested in housing, because that's the future at the end of the day. Like, in 5-10 years time, the political climate will potentially be just as difficult, so we need people who are going to be creative to try and ensure we maintain our social purpose through what will be a very difficult time.
So we're on day 2 and started off with some really inspirational and thought-provoking thinkers. Chair of the NHF did an introductory speech. She's just taken up the chair position, and I think she'll be a good force for good for the future. And then also there was a debate about the future of housing, freeze or squeeze, which had some really interesting ideas in it.
Future of Working was really interesting, had some really good speakers. Also they had a lot of different ideas. And they also talked about, you know, is the office environment dead? Should we change that way? Should more people work remotely? And make sure that we have the, you know, the right devices for people to use to be able to do that. Yeah, so it was really interesting.
So we've had a talk from Lucy Adams, who's former BBC Director of HR, and talking about disruptive HR, which is interesting, and also about leadership in a disrupted world. And she came up with a really interesting acronym, VUCA. So it's volatile, uncertain, complex and ambiguous world in which we need to lead. We are superheroes!